Hi, I am Subramanyam with Durga Software Solutions, Hyderabad. Durga Software Solutions is the #1 institute in India to provide a great platform for many youngsters today. Those are preparing for competitive examinations like bank clerical, bank POs, LIC and RRB, Staff Selection Commission, and even civil services, MAT, GRE, GATE. Apart from all these competitive examinations, Durga Software is a pioneering institute in India to provide a great service to the students community in terms of technical training. We have the best faculty in every area of technical aspects like Java, .NET, even Oracle. The best industry expertise people are there to provide a great platform for many youth today to get jobs in corporate companies. So we are today discussing the competitive English, which is very crucial for success of competition goers now, exam takers now. How these spotting errors or correction of sentences or errors in English come from various sections of English grammar. Competitive English, especially from these common errors or spotting errors section covers wide range of English grammar. In that, number 1 is tenses, number 2 is subject to verb agreement rules, number 3 is prepositions, number 4 is if conditional clauses, number 5 is active passive voice, number 6 is direct indirect speech, that is narration. In terms of competitive English, it is called narration, and in terms of competitive English, it is called narration. In terms of competitive English, we call it as a narration. Generally, we do narration in two ways. One is directly and indirectly. We do narration in 2 ways. Number 1 is direct speech and indirect speech. This narration happens 2 ways. One is direct and second one is indirect. Narration happens 2 ways. One is direct narration and indirect narration. What is that direct narration? Whatever the speaker has said, if we give the same words without changing as it is, that is called narration, direct narration. Example, direct narration example. He said, I am going to movie now. He said, I am going to movie now. What is this? I am going to movie now. Whatever the speaker said. Who is the speaker here? He said, I am going to movie now. Whatever the speaker has said to me, if I mention as it is without changing any structure, without changing any words, as it is, if we can put, that is called direct speech. The best example for direct speech is, he said, I am going to movie now. Whatever the speaker has mentioned, that is given as it is. So in direct sentence, the structure or the formation is, this is called reporting class, and this is called main class. Main class. This is called reporting class, this is called main class. What is the meaning of class? Class is a group of words. A class is group of words, and here also a class is a group of words. Here, what is the group of words? He said. Here the main class group of words are, I am going to movie now. So now let us see, before in direct speech, the formation of the direct speech is like this. Whatever is spoken by the speaker, that is put always in a quotation mark. In a quotation mark. That is the reason why this is called quote. Whatever the speaker quoted, we put them into two inverted commas, and within these two inverted commas, whatever is called, that is called quotation or quote. And in terms of English grammar, this is the main class. And what is the main verb here? I am going is the main verb, and this is called reporting verb. This is the reporting verb, and this is the main verb, and the entire sentence is called put in a quotation marks. Whatever the sentence is there in the quotation marks, it is called quote. So this is the structure of direct narration. This is the structure of direct narration. And now, how this indirect narration is formed? Indirect narration is formed or constructed or structured like this. Indirect narration is, for this sentence, he said that he was going to movie then. He was going to movie then. If you see, this is called reporting sentence or indirect speech. This is called reporting sentence or indirect speech. If you see, what are the changes happen between direct speech to indirect speech, you will see very clearly many changes have been done. What are the major changes have been done? Major changes have been transformed. Number one, after reporting verb, this comma is eliminated. This comma is eliminated here. He said, and we add one conjunction, that is that. He said that, comma is eliminated here. He said that I became he, because we are not giving the same as it is spoken by the speaker in indirect speech. In indirect speech, we make a few changes. We make few changes in direct sentence and then transform into indirect narration. In indirect narration, we make few changes in the direct narration and then we go with the indirect sentence. Now, he said that since it is a am going present, always it changes into past. Whatever the tense is there in the quotation or in the quote, it will turn into past tense. If it is a was, it will become had been. So I will give you some techniques, tactics, strategies or rules in indirect speech. how the tense is changed when we change one sentence from direct speech to indirect speech. He was going to movie, another word is also changed. What is that? Then, now became then. Now became then. So almost how many changes happen? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Almost 5 changes. 5 changes happen. 5 changes happen. When we change direct narration into indirect narration, almost 5 changes happen. Number 1 is comma is eliminated, deleted, and that is added. That's it. Second, this I became he, am became was, now became them. 1, 2, 3. Yes, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 1 is he said that, comma is there. 1, 2, 3, 4 changes happen as of now. Almost 4 changes happen. Like that, we are changing direct narration into indirect narration. Let me give you one more example. She said, I got a job. So whatever is she said, this is these are the words, these are the quotation are the words which is directly narrated, so that it is called direct narration. This is called direct narration. And indirect narration or speech is like this. She said that she had got a job. She had got a job. This is how the narration changes from direct to indirect. So the narration changed from direct to indirect. It is how mostly why we change this one. We make a few changes when we change from direct narration to indirect narration. The entire change, few changes happen, not entire. The meaning will not be changed. That is the one more important thing we need to keep it in mind. When we change direct narration into indirect narration, direct speech to indirect speech, and we don't change the meaning, the meaning will not be changed. Meaning will be only the same, but with a few changes we use it. Let us see that few changes happen only when the helping verb is in the when the reporting verb is in the past tense. If the reporting verb is in the past tense, when the reporting verb is in the past tense, then this kind of changes happen. When the reporting tense, when the reporting verb is in the past tense, we make changes. So when the reporting verb is in the past tense, what are the changes happen? We will see in the indirect narration. In the indirect narration, changes happen only when the reporting verb is in the past tense. But when the reporting verb is in the present tense or future tense, no changes happen. First, we will discuss about how the changes happen, from direct narration to indirect narration when it comes to direct and indirect. When the reporting verb is in the past tense, then the changes happen like this. What are the changes happen? Number one, present tense becomes past tense in the indirect speech. This is a direct speech. When the reporting verb is in the past tense, the changes happen like this. In the direct speech, present tense is there. In direct speech, it becomes past tense. Now, present continuous changes into past continuous. Present perfect changes into past perfect. Next, present perfect continuous changes into past perfect continuous. Similarly, simple future past, simple past becomes past perfect. Now, past continuous becomes past perfect continuous. Past continuous becomes past perfect continuous. So, past perfect becomes past perfect continuous. So, past perfect becomes past perfect continuous. Past perfect only, because there is no continuous, and there is no transformation tense changes in simple future, future continuous or future perfect. They will be the same. They will not be changed in the indirect narration. So these are the changes happen in terms of tenses when we change from direct narration to indirect narration. When a sentence change from direct narration to indirect narration, when the reporting verb is in the past tense, these are the changes happen. Almost indirect speech will be only in the past tense. That is the beauty of indirect speech. That is the major indication of identifying the sentence, whether it is a direct narration or indirect narration. How do we identify indirect narration? The sentence almost will be in the past tense. Now, these are the related tenses. What about the other changes happen? Other changes. Let us see. Other changes also happen. What are those other changes? Number one is the time frames. Now becomes this will, shall, may, can, might, would, could. Number one, all these words will be transformed into past one. Would, should, might, can, could. But what about this might, would, could also transform into the same. And next one, now becomes then, today becomes that day, tomorrow becomes the following day, and yesterday becomes Yesterday becomes the previous day. See, now becomes then, today becomes that day, tomorrow becomes the following day, yesterday becomes the previous day. This is how other changes also happen when we change direct narration into indirect narration, only in terms of the verb is, reporting verb is in the past tense. Now let us see one by one how the sentences with examples. Minimum one question comes from this narration part. Maximum 2 questions come from this narration part in competitive English examinations. Whether it could be correction of sentences or sentence improvement. Either way, they test our narration techniques, narration knowledge. Now let us see how the simple present is changed into simple past in indirect speech. Simple present example. Direct speech. Direct speech. The sentence is like this. He said, I am fine. I am fine now. How the simple present is changed? He said, I am fine now. Then indirect speech. Or reported speech. We can say reported speech. How the reported speech is written? He said that he was fine then. See this? What are the changes happen? Comma is eliminated, inverted commas are removed, am became was, now became then. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. These are the changes happen. What are the 4 changes happen in the indirect narration? Number 1 is that added, number 2 is was, number 3 is this, and number 4 is comma is eliminated. So when a simple present sentence is transformed from direct speech to indirect speech or reported speech, we make sentence like this. Now second example. She said, I am going to my home. I am going to my home now. She said, I am going to movie now. The beauty of direct narration is, we use the speaker words as it is without changing. Only we put that words in the quotation marks. When we put in the sentence in the quotation marks, when the sentence is put in the quotation marks, it is called direct speech. Now let us transform this sentence into indirect speech. This is direct speech, this is indirect speech or reported speech. She said that she was going to her home then. My home becomes Whose home? Her home. So she said that she was going home, she was going to her home then. This is how she said that she was, I became she, am became was, going same, my became her, now became then. So these are the changes happen in indirect speech, indirect narration. In terms of simple present. How about this simple, present continuous? Let us see some more, present continuous narration, how the narration happens in the present continuous. Present continuous, the narration happens, the direct narration and indirect narration, how it happens in the present continuous. Let us see with examples. Direct speech. They said, we are going to class today. We are going to class today. They said we are going to class today. Now, in a reported speech, the sentence is transformed like this. They said that they were going to class that day. In indirect speech or in narration, indirect narration, we don't use these quotation marks. Whatever the quotation mark is, marks are given, that quotation marks are eliminated and with a few changes and we make the sentence. They said that we became, they are became were, today became that day. These are the major changes. Now let us see one more example. He said, I was preparing for bank POs last year. He said that I was preparing for bank exams. He said that I was preparing for bank exams. So when the sentence is like in the past continuous, see this, they said that they were going to class that day. That is fine. And he said I was preparing for bank exams last year. That is the past continuous direct narration. This is direct narration. Direct narration. What about indirect? Indirect narration. What is the indirect narration for this sentence? This is, he said that he was preparing for bank exams last year. He was preparing for bank exams the previous year. The previous year. He was preparing for competitive examinations, or he was preparing for bank exams last year. So this is how he said, I was preparing for bank exams, bank POs last year. He said that he was preparing for bank exams the previous year. Did you understand this one? Present continuous is transformed into indirect speech like this. Now, how we will see present perfect is transformed into indirect speech. In indirect speech, the present perfect is also transformed or changed with a few changes like other tenses, like other sentences. Let us see. Present perfect. How the present perfect is utilized. How the present perfect narration happens from direct to indirect. How the present perfect narration happens from direct to indirect. Example, let us see. Direct speech. She said, I have got a job this month. I have got a job this month. Now in indirect speech or reported speech, the sentence will be like this. She said that she has got. She had, present perfect becomes past perfect. She had got job that month. She had got the job that month. Right? So she said, I have got a job this month. She said that she had got job. Present perfect becomes past perfect. Now